Hello everybody and welcome back to the Modern Green Bay and Western. My name is Gabe, owner of the layout. And this week we're doing a layout update. Some odds and ends, new projects that you haven't seen yet. And I'm pretty excited to show you what progress I've gotten done on the layout. It hasn't quite made it into any videos or anything like that. Also, we're going to do a little bit of layout tour for some of the new people who haven't gotten to see much, new subscribers over the last couple of months, so let's get into it. First project that I'm going to show you, and probably the biggest and most important one I've gotten done, is painting my Kato SD40-2 into Green Bay and Western colors. This is SD40-2 number 224, which people who work with me will understand why the last two numbers are of significance to me. I got this finished probably a couple weeks ago. Didn't want to do a video on how I did it. I think I've come up with the way how I want to film it. So when I do the next locomotive, hopefully that gets filmed. Decals are by Circus City Decals. They're just normal Green Bay and Western decals you put on any Elko, but I put them on the SD40-2. The only thing that really required any modification was the stripes here on the sill. Those you have to use more than what's normally used for just one C424 or any other Elko locomotive. Here's a close-up. It needs a little bit of tuning up afterwards, but otherwise it's gone back together pretty well. It needs some detailing. I need to still put the numbers on the number boards, but it was just so tedious. I've done so much decaling in the last couple weeks, I just wanted to kind of say I was finished with the project. It obviously needs weathering. However, what I have done is, you can kind of see up here, I put a wash on the fans up here so that they appear darker. There we go. So that it appears darker inside there, gives them some depth and stuff. Overall, very happy how this turned out. Gonna need at least one more SD40-2, and then hopefully I got enough to pull some shorter trains and do a little bit more switching work, which is what this has been doing a lot lately, is running locals around the layout. So we're going to start this layout tour and layout update going east to west, starting here in Seymour. You can see the Green Bay and Western number 224 just entered in, coming from staging, which represents Green Bay. We're headed east. So those two cars are Performance Core. We'll go farther west here. We cross over Mill Street. Not much has happened in Seymour, really. This is our flour mill that we're going to have in the middle of town. Back here is going to be a little historic display. There's a historical society, an old station there, so that's going to be modeled. Also, there is a burger, because Seymour claims to be the inventors, or the location where cheeseburger was invented, or hamburger, or whatever, each one. Some of these buildings, if you've seen some of my older videos, are placeholders or things that need to be fixed and updated, such as this Bachman baking company. Haven't gotten around to fixing them up or doing anything with them, but we will. So Elizabeth Street, and then here comes the first update at the co-op on the west side of town. I've gotten the track laid for the yard. So here, where the paint is, will be where the grain and whatnot is loaded into the covered hoppers, and then these tracks will be used for storage. I've operated this a few times. It's actually kind of fun using it as a form of a little bit of a switching puzzle, and makes a little more interest in switching. So here is the part of the layout, which is a folded figure 8, where you can see both parts of the main line at once. This is actually New London West, while this portion here is in between Seymour and Black Creek. So we've added a little bit of hill here, just to kind of divide things up. And make for a little more scenic interest. Probably some trees will go on there to help divide up Seymour from New London. But, you know, there goes our train. Over there, we'll discuss that later. That's actually the building that will become our co-op. Needs to be fixed up and whatnot. This will be North Main Street for Black Creek. Not much has gone on in Black Creek. It's kind of a stagnant place. The track is all in, so we really don't have much issues there. The new addition here that we're going to talk about is I got a new 5-well Burlington Northern Santa Fe intermodal car. The GB&W and the BNSF and the CN are the primary runners of intermodal across the Green Bay and Western. It's kind of a joint venture between the three companies to get intermodal cars from the west to the Green Bay, to Norwood's Green Bay yard, where they're offloaded. So with that addition, I only need a few more cars to get to my desired train length of 14 cars. If you include my 2 auto rack cars. Train lengths are meant to be around 14 cars and a locomotive or 2. So obviously we don't quite have that yet, but this is a great addition, and now I kind of feel like I have at least 3 trains I can run around the layout, not just locomotives but trains. So, and then I didn't mention it, but back there is going to be a cheese factory, chemical unloading and whatnot here, and then this will be loading up refrigerated box cars and stuff full of cheese for shipping. So then we continue west. We come to Black Creek West where the siding ends. And this pile here right now is freight cars that need work, like this one that has a broken coupler. Needs work, or needs to be weathered, and I just haven't gotten around to. Most of these boxes are empty because the cars are currently working on the layout. However, they're to remind me that these are the cars that need to be weathered and worked on. So otherwise, this is going to be shy acting. No industries or anything. We're going to end up right in the backdrop here. And we're going to have a crossing Highway 76 and a couple buildings. So that's all we're going to have there. And then again, because this is a folded figure 8, there is the crossing of the figure 8, and through the backdrop it goes into New London. And now we're on the other side of where we just saw that locomotive dive through the backdrop. So, new thing here, we got part of the sneak off track, or at least the visible portion of the sneak off track for the Foxy, which 2 interesting things. That makes this the last visible portion of trackage that needed to be laid, and has been laid. So otherwise, other than staging track, all the visible portions of trackage on the layout are done. Second of all, I'm willing to bet, and I don't know this for a certain fact, you know, obviously I don't know what everybody in the world is modeling, that this might be the first modeling of the Fox Valley and Lake Superior that exists. I don't know that for a fact, but like actually on a layout, not just a locomotive or something, but actually on a layout. It won't be visible for much, but I think that might be the first instance of modeling of the Fox Valley and Lake Superior. Again, don't quote me on that, I could be totally off, but I have yet to see any examples of it. So if you know of an example, let me know. I'd actually be interested, because I think there's a lot of cool things if you're into small short lines that the Foxy does. You can see it goes off this way. I'll probably end up extending it into staging a bit more, but for now this works. Things that need to get done is actually, there needs to be another backdrop that goes right here that hides Granite Valley Forest products, or your view when you're looking at Granite Valley Forest products from being able to see the staging yard. Also, it will cover up most of that sneak off track. You'll be able to see it if you peek down here, but I'm going to put some trees and stuff to kind of make that not so visible. And probably some scenery down there too, just to kind of make it look a little more finished. But so that needs to go in, and this is kind of where I'm going to start talking about plans. My plans are, we all know about the bridge project, how that still needs to get done. That'll probably hopefully be the next video I make, is me working on the bridge project and getting the actual bridge built, maybe installed. Maybe that'll be a separate video installation, don't know. But then I want to start down here and work my way down New London with scenery and buildings and finishing things in, buying locomotives and stuff across the way. So that's kind of the hope. That's the plan right now, but that constantly changes. Got a modern lumber transload kit over there to help me finish up Granite Valley forest product buildings. Here's the train going over Embarrass Creek. This will be US 45 business, and then we come into New London siding, and then also the interchange yard with the Fox Valley and Lake Superior. So the hope is one day to have locomotives, a Fox Valley and Lake Superior locomotive that can come off here, run into New London, and interchange as a live interchange with the Green Bay and Western here at the yard. Otherwise, for now, it's part of switching for the local that comes through New London. And there's GB and W210, my other Green Bay and Western painted locomotive. And see, freight cars that still need to be weathered, like desperately. If you've ever seen one of these WC gondolas, you know this thing needs to be weathered within an inch of its life. Another big scenery type thing I've done here is I have gone and lowered this portion of the layout from where the rest of it is by digging out the foam. This is going to be a swampland, which on the west end of New London and where this New London siding would be in real life, it's pretty swampy, so I've never modeled a swamp. That'll be a nice new interesting thing to try to do. But yeah, so we'll get to do that, and hopefully that'll make it into a video on the channel. And then here we are at New London West. So here you can actually see where we were on the other side and we were talking about this. So this will help kind of divide up this portion. Not too high, because I still want you to be able to kind of, when you come in, peek and see most of the layout from here. That being Black Creek, and then the locomotive and the train coming through Seymour right now. So then we will continue west on the trackage, and behind Black Creek, and as you can see, is the beginning of staging yard. This will represent Wisconsin Rapids and Green Bay's Norwood Yard. So like I said, visible trackage is done. Non-visible trackage, such as the staging yard, is not complete. I think I could fit in at least 2 or 3 more tracks, probably 3. When the mood hits me, I'll invest more in some track and we'll lay the rest of that. There'll be a backdrop that runs down quite essentially the middle here. I'm thinking about maybe trying to do a low hill, but I don't know how that's going to work. But yeah, so that's kind of the layout. That's a good layout update. That's an overview. So for those of you who have been following for a while, I hope you enjoyed the update. And for those of you that are new to the channel, I hope you enjoyed getting to see a tour of the layout. Maybe you've seen a bunch of projects and haven't gotten a chance to actually see what the layout looks like, and wonder what I'm exactly working on here. But that's it. Just a quick note at the end here. Layout's about 13 feet long by 9 feet wide. Most of it's about 2 inches wide bench work, except for the portion where the 2 lines cross. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, watch another video if you can, and have a great time with the world's greatest hobby. Bye.